Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me right here on Generally Nerdy. This show is your week in Nerdom. Before we get into anything, I'm going to remind you to hit the like button if you are a fan of what I do on this channel, the reactions, the nerdy things, all of that stuff. Then hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We have a little bit of a short show for you today, so we're going to breeze right through it right after we hit the intro. Okay, nerds, we are, foregoing housekeeping. I don't know that there's a whole lot going on housekeeping. I am trying to get back on top of those reaction videos, so if you like those things, then they can be found hopefully once a day over on the YouTube channel, Generally Nerdy. So go check that out. We are starting, though, with music news like we do every episode. First, all right, so before we get into actual news, real quick, there is not a whole lot going on in each of these sections. Our biggest section is the rumor mill. I did my diligence and actually focused a little bit more on the rumor mill. Actually, it was kind of easy this time because there was a bunch of rumors. We kind of picked the cream of the crop because some of them I really couldn't substantiate from more than one questionable source, so that didn't really make it in. But we do have some good stuff to talk about. All right, so music news. First up, we have an update on Shadows Fall. One of my favorite bands from the early to mid-aughts. They stopped making music in the teens. John Denius, the lead guitar player, went and joined Anthrax. All the other guys started other projects. Shadows Fall just wasn't viable for them to make a living anymore for whatever reason. But we do have an update saying that they are trying to get things back on track, if for nothing else than just to do a reunion tour of sorts, go kind of get the band back together, if you will, do all of the things that they are so amazing at, hopefully go on tour with Killswitch Engage again. That's my little insertion because those were some of the greatest shows. I remember seeing Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, and Shadows Fall on the same bill at least half a dozen times round about the time I graduated from high school. For the following years therein, it was an amazing time in music for me. I would love to see one of those shows as an adult now, so that would be freaking awesome. But no real progress has been made because quarantine is kind of a real bummer, man. Everything has been put on hold, but they are, according to Brian Fair, the lead singer for the band, they are trying to get the gears in motion again. This is from an interview that he did very, very recently, and I'm just super stoked. I'm going to keep gushing, so we're going to move on. Next is kind of another band that's doing what we talked about that Suicide Silence is doing in the previous episode. This time, though, it's Clutch. Actually, it's not just Clutch. It is Clutch, Crowbar, Blacktop Mojo, and Saul. I don't know who Saul is. I've never heard of that band. But they are doing a virtual concert. This one, though, is going to be very different from the Suicide Silence concert, whereas it's not going to be broadcast specifically to one state at a time or one region at a time or area at a time or anything like that. It is going to be a full internet broadcast, but you will have to buy digital tickets, and there does sound like there's going to be some sort of interactivity, though I would be surprised if it's going to be on the same level that the Suicide Silence concert was anticipating being. It is going to be May 27th. The doors, if you will. I don't know. It's such an interesting proposition because they're trying to make it like a live show. So they have a doors time. The doors time is 3:30 Eastern Standard Time in the States. So however the math works out for you, that is the way, that's it. So New York time effectively is 3:30. That's when the quote-unquote doors open. So presumably there's going to be some sort of like live chat going on for a half an hour, and then the first band, Saul, is going to hit the stage. Again, I'm using the quotes. Is going to hit the stage at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. So very interesting. I really I want to spend the money on this. Like I'm so intrigued, and especially because it's Clutch, and Clutch is amazing. I'm so intrigued on how this is going to work under quarantine. Like, I want these bands to make money, yes, and I also want to contribute to it. So I'm very interested to see what happens. That is all we have on that, though, and that is all of the music section. So now we have TV streaming to cover. TV streaming, we have 3 pieces. Very interesting, all of them. First up is a new Star Trek series. Good Lord, we have so many freaking Star Trek series to cover anymore. CBS All Access did make an official announcement about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Is kind of a spinoff from Discovery, though I don't know, it's also kind of a prequel to Discovery because it takes place with Anson Mount as Captain Pike once more. Mount is coming back, Rebecca Romijn is coming back as number 1, and Ethan Peck is coming back as Spock. This is all of their time on the USS Enterprise long before we get Captain Kirk, so also before the events of Discovery Season 1, because Captain Pike takes over Discovery for a moment in Season 1. So this is that time that fills that gap. So it'll be very, very awesome if you are a Star Trek fan. I did not see that because there isn't a release date for it yet because everything is still on quarantine. So they can't really go forward much more than they already are. It is in pre-production, but that doesn't give us a schedule for when we can start filming, when we can start editing, so on and so forth. So don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen, and it is going straight to CBS All Access, just like all of the other Star Trek stuff that's going on these days. So moving from there, we have a real quick update on the Umbrella Academy. Season 2 has set a premiere date, and that premiere date is July 31st. So we are just over a month and a half from that. Should be a lot of fun. I honestly think Umbrella Academy is one of the best comic book things on television right now, even though it is a streaming show and not technically TV, but whatever. And then we got another Mandalorian update. This one real quick because there's only the casting announcement. Timothy Oliphant has been cast in a yet-to-be-disclosed role. Timothy Oliphant is a good actor. I don't know about his nerd cred. I don't know what kind of gravity he can bring to Star Wars or The Mandalorian necessarily, but I mean, The Mandalorian was a big freaking surprise to everyone when it aired the first episode, so this could be a brilliant move by Favreau, Filoni, and company. I'm very interested to see what happens. Timothy Oliphant, if you don't know, was in The Girl Next Door and Justified on FX and a number of other things. Santa Clarita Diet most recently. Yeah, he's a pretty good actor. I wouldn't say he's a great actor, but he's pretty good. It's a lot of fun to watch him on screen, so we'll see what he can bring to Star Wars universe. That's all we have for TV streaming. Like I said, it's going to be a quick episode, guys. Next, we're talking about movies. We have 3 updates in movies as well. First off is Another Country is opening production up again. This country, this time is France, and specifically Amazon and Netflix have some French language shows that are now allowed to go back into production. I did not put the name of the shows in the notes because they're not shows that I necessarily watch, and being an English speaker, they're not necessarily. I mean, I do understand French. I took a lot of French in school and so on and so forth, but I don't make a habit out of watching French language television, so it was relatively irrelevant which shows they were. But Amazon and Netflix are going back into production on programming in multiple countries, so that is freaking newsworthy. The country is looking to ease lockdown restrictions on June the 2nd, so that after the 2nd of June is when they will be allowed to go back into production. Next, we have a downer note. We have another death in the news. This time it is Fred Willard, died at 86 this past Friday. And again, the announcement of his death says natural causes, which is something that I really thought wasn't a thing anymore. Fred Willard was an amazing comedic actor, maybe not to the same degree as Jerry Stiller, because Jerry Stiller is a freaking legend. I don't know, man. Fred Willard is a bit of a legend in his own right. So either way, Comedy World is out. An amazing comedic actor. Fred Willard, you will be missed. Next, we are talking very briefly about a confirmation of a rumor for Mad Max Furiosa. This one comes directly from the studio and such. They are officially not using Charlize Theron for this movie. It is going to be a prequel. They are looking to cast a young actress who is approximately 20 for the role. Now we are jumping into gaming, and we only have one piece in gaming. This is not even a video game update. This is a D&D update. Well, I guess it is video game related in that Baldur's Gate is a video game, but it's based on D&D, and this is about an expansion for D&D, so then it affects Baldur's Gate. Yeah, all right, so we're going to talk about it. We have a new race of creatures. We actually have a whole slew of new races of creatures for D&D in the next expansion. The expansion is going to be called Forgotten Gifts, and it actually is going to be called, it is called Forgotten Gifts because it is available now. The new race that is so intriguing is called the Mullithairid. Oh man, I know I messed that up. So correct me in the comments. But we did get a new race. Again, a slew of new races. This race though is a creature that is part Mind Flayer, part whatever other creature, because I don't know, it's been a little while since I played D&D, but I don't think Mind Flayers are discriminatory against, where they plant their little tadpoles. So you can now kind of sort of be a Mind Flayer. You can't be full-on Mind Flayer in the rules. I'm sure you can hack the rules and do whatever you want, because I've played plenty of those D&D sessions, but you can now officially partially play a Mind Flayer, which is kind of cool. So check out you can again get the new expansion, Amazon, wherever it is available now. And then we're moving over to comic books and literature. Comic books, we only have, again, one section or one piece of news in this section, and that is the new release date for the new crossover event in the X of Swords, the new Jonathan Hickman crossover event that is affecting all of the X storylines is now going to be released in September, and it is going to be called Genesis. Hickman is just... honestly, a lot of this stuff for me right now is hit and miss, but Hickman, generally speaking, is always a win. So, worth a look, if nothing else. And that is everything we've got in comic books and literature, guys. So now we are going to be talking about the rumor mill. In the rumor mill, we have Cassian Andor hitting the rumors. We have Jimmy Smits and Auster Petrie are rumored to be in talks to reprise their roles for this series as Bail Organa and General Draven, respectively. So I would imagine this one isn't a really tightly kept secret and is an easily verifiable rumor. So I bet this one definitely has legs. Next, we have another freaking update on the Snyder Cut. Man, why won't this just go away? But now it sounds like there are a lot more stronger rumors surrounding the existence of the Snyder Cut. So much so that it is rumored that Scott Snyder has, in fact, according to this rumor, played his version or what exists of his version of the Justice League movie for the powers that be at AT&T. So he's gone over Warner Brothers' head and is now going straight to the money bags. And the AT&T executives apparently loved what they saw, so they gave the green light for whatever funds he needs to finish his movie. It sounds like that is kind of potentially a good sign, because we also got word, and this is just a bonus piece of rumor information, we also got word that it sounds like 5G over at DC is silently being squashed by AT&T, because AT&T owns the comic books section as well. So if AT&T saw 5G and went, no, this is not how we're going to be portraying these characters. This is not what's happening. We like to make money, and this is not going to do that for us. Then maybe them liking the Snyder Cut is also a good thing. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, more Snyder Cut nonsense. But now it's a little less exasperation, a little more hope. that's all we have on that one. Next, we are talking about Batwoman, a show we don't necessarily cover a whole lot on here because there's not really a whole lot to cover on a series like that. But we did get word that there is going to be potentially, if you want to believe the rumor, we're going to see Batman officially in season 2. And he's going to be played, what's the guy's name? He's going to be played by Warren Christie, who kind of has already played him in this series already. If you watched, spoiler alert, I kind of have already spoiled it, so I apologize. But if you watched the season finale, then you saw Hush do what Hush is wont to do, a callback to the comics, if you will. You saw Hush wearing the face of Bruce Wayne, and that face was being played by Warren Christie. So I don't remember if Hush himself was played by Warren Christie before that moment in time, but either way, the rumor has it that because that happened, now we're going to get a proper Batman in season 2, which also is very potentially going to factor into that World's Finest story arc that we talked about in the last episode. So, sounds like this one might have a little bit of legs, though we do know a lot about the fact that Warner Brothers doesn't really approve Batman to be in TV series, so I don't know. We'll see where that one falls. Next, we're talking about Green Lantern. This one is kind of a whole slew of Green Lantern rumors all rolled into one. So bear with me if I have to read these a little bit. I apologize if it sounds stilted or whatever. But so we do have rumors that say, first, the series, season 1 is going to lead directly into the new movie, and then season 2, which we have a few season 2 rumors to discuss, but we'll go over the season 1 stuff first. Season 2 is then going to lead directly out of the new movie, so that only freaking makes sense. I can't imagine that wouldn't be true. However, that does not necessarily mean the rest of these rumors are true. So also in season 1, we will not be seeing Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart because they are going to be the focus of the movie. So what we are going to get in season 1 is 2 separate storylines. We're going to get one in the past and one in the quote-unquote present, so the present of that universe. The past will focus on the fall of Sinestro and the death of Abin Sur, and the present storyline is going to revolve around the recruitment of Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. So then, into season 2, the rumors are as follows. It's going to continue this 2 different story arc structure. The past, as of season 2, is going to revolve around Hal Jordan training with Sinestro, so it's going to go even further into the past, presumably. At least parts of it will be. And then the present storyline is going to be Hal training with Jon Stewart. Then also, there's even another rumor for season 2 that we're going to get some sort of cameo or small role for Guy Gardner. So all of the Green Lanterns you know and love sound like they might be headed towards this HBO Max series, or at the very least, the movie. And then our final rumor. This one was the weakest of the bunch. I don't know how much legs this has, but I saw it from at least 2 different sources. So take this with a even more giant grain of salt than the rest of these rumors, but it sounds like Netflix is listening to fans when it comes to the OA. At least in part, because it sounds like we are going to be getting a 3rd season, but then officially 100% no more of the OA is going to be on Netflix, but still that last season will give, presumably, a more cathartic ending to the series that should have the fans satiated, if nothing else, according to the rumors. But again, these rumors are pretty flimsy for this one very specifically. So that is the end of the rumor mill, guys. And also the end of the episode. What did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That's where you can find the links to everything else, as well as all of the free content that I post. All of it goes over to generallynerdy.net. Or if you want to get behind the paywall, you want to support the channel a little more directly, then there is a Patreon account, patreon.com/generallynerdy. You can see all of the things and all of the paid content up there. If you want back episodes, for the audio podcast, if you want whatever, all of the good stuff is up on Patreon. So go check it out, patreon.com/generallynerdy. Thank you, nerds, again, very, very much for joining me. While you're here, again, don't forget to subscribe so that you know when I post these videos. Ring that bell so it gives you the reminder in your inbox. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like what I'm trying to do on these episodes, man. That goes way far. If you don't like it, I'm not ashamed to get a couple of thumbs downs every now and then, as evidenced by my reaction videos sometimes. So do whatever, man. Let's have a conversation about what's working, what's not down in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about any of this news down in the comment section. Also, don't forget that one of these two boxes right here below my face will lead you to other things right here on the channel. So go check that out and see what else I have to offer. And then, if you like it, go to the Patreon, so on and so forth. So that is what I got for you today. Thank you again very much for joining me. Before we head out, though, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.